you won't stop him!
Gloria, I'm afraid!
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the sitcom moments that left our jaws on the floor. For this list, we're not including animated shows.
Well, it's all right to be angry.
Hey, why should I be mad? I'm saying at least he said goodbye this time.
Number 30, Topanga's Professor, Boy Meets World. Corey Matthews didn't get into his first fight until college. Unfortunately for him, it turned out to be with his professor. A popular young professor is beloved because he doesn't uphold the professional boundary between himself and his students. But the need for that professional boundary becomes clear when he hits on Corey's fiancée, Topanga, in her dorm room.
We're adults. And, I'm telling you that I'd like to get to know you better. And that's what I'm gonna do.
The moment is profoundly uncomfortable. The scene and Corey's response is Boy Meets World at its most socially conscious and impactful.
He used his power and authority to take advantage of her, and he told me that there was nothing I could do and that he was never gonna stop.
Eventually, we get the pleasure of watching the professor get dressed down by Mr. Feeney himself. Number 29, Phil Hartman's Death, News Radio.
Thank you for everything, Bill.
The tragic and horrifying murder of actor Phil Hartman was a blow to all of his colleagues, but when News Radio returned with its first episode afterward, it was a deeply unsettling tribute. His character, Bill McNeil, was written off the show, having died of a heart attack off-screen. The cast, though in character, seems to be processing their colleague's death in real time.
Farewell. Take care of each other, and I'll see you all when you get to wherever it is that I am now.
Needless to say, the jokes aren't as fast and furious as usual. Star Dave Foley and the rest of the cast are legitimately breaking down on camera in what feels like something like a televised funeral. Number 28, Susan's Death, Seinfeld. The fact that George Costanza was getting married at all is probably shocking enough to make this list, but the way his fiancée Susan died is one of the show's most brilliant strokes of genius.
Off?
Famously cheap, George opts for a cheap glue to seal their wedding invitations. This choice ends up having tragic consequences for Susan, who George leaves to stuff and seal over almost 200 invitations. George was having second thoughts anyway, so in a twisted fashion, his cheapness saved him from nuptials. His friends' reactions really drive home the point that these people have always been, and will continue to be, the worst.
I'm so sorry, George.
Yeah, me too.
Poor Lily.
Number 27, Chandler and Monica's Infertility. Friends. It's a testament to just how good this show is, that a topic as fraught and devastating as infertility can actually deliver some chuckles.
What is the big deal?
It's weird. You're in a doctor's office?
It's not okay to do it in a doctor's office, but it is okay to do it in a parked car behind a Taco Bell.
Friends usually kept things light, so when things get serious, it was always a noticeable change of pace. Chandler and Monica's struggle to have children got a funny but impactful and depressing punctuation mark in this season 9 episode. Struggling to conceive, the two see a fertility specialist. When they find out that they're unable to have biological children, it's a gut punch to both of them, and to all of us who watched them fall in love.
Well, we're gonna figure this out.
I know.
Number 26, Raven confronts racism. That's So Raven. The Disney Channel was not exactly known for hard-hitting television about social issues, but That's So Raven took on racism and hiring discrimination in this season 3 episode. The psychic high schooler learns she doesn't get a job that she was perfect for, and a vision reveals that it's because the manager doesn't hire African American applicants.
There's gotta be some reason why you didn't get that job.
The truth is, I don't hire black people.
As far as Raven's visions go, it was definitely one of the most shocking. While the episode manages to wrap things up in a nice little bow, it's blunt but believable in a way that's true to life, yet still palatable for its young audience.
And there you have it. Shocking evidence of job discrimination right here in San Francisco.
Number 25, George attends a Klan meeting. The Jeffersons. Creator Norman Lear conceived George Jefferson as an African-American counterpart to Archie Bunker. So most of the Jeffersons had him being obtuse to the world around him. That might not have been clearer than when he was invited to attend a neighborhood watch meeting that soon turns out to be a front for the Ku Klux Klan. George is as taken aback as we are.
You're not joining anything. This happens to be a KKK meeting.
Bet it is. And everybody in here is proud to be part of the K what?
The meeting devolves into a near-public brawl before the leader has a heart attack. The leader's unrepentant racism, even after George saves his life, is just as shocking.
He saved my life?
Yeah.
You should have let me die.
Norman Lear shows never hesitated to go dark and real places, but this one was wild even for him. Number 24, Ellen Comes Out. Ellen. This coming out scene was a long time coming. Star Ellen DeGeneres had already come out of the closet in the major news publications, and her character's sexuality had become a running joke. But in this very special two-parter, which guest stars Oprah Winfrey and Laura Dern, Ellen Morgan's coming out is done in spectacular and bumbling fashion.
Yeah, I'm 35 years old. I'm so afraid to tell people. Susan, I'm gay.
She doesn't just announce it to Dern's character, but to the entire airport when it's picked up by the PA system. It's a celebratory scene and episode about self-actualization and courage, but the firestorm it caused was just as shocking as anything that happened on screen.
Nobody's ever ready. You can't just wait for America to be ready for things, and that's how we affect change.
Number 23, The Last Newhart. Newhart.
You're all crazy!
After 8 seasons, the show about a Vermont innkeeper came to a close with what might be the most surprising and hilarious "it was all a dream" endings in history. After being hit in the head by a golf ball, actor Bob Newhart wakes from a dream in the bedroom set of his previous sitcom, The Bob Newhart Show. And next to Newhart is his wife from that show, Emily, played by actress Suzanne Plachette.
All right, Bob. What is it?
I was an innkeeper in this crazy little town in Vermont.
Kept under wraps until the last minute, the revelation that all of Newhart was just a dream of his previous character was a huge hit with the viewers. Number 22, Selena Frames Gary. Veep. By the end of this darkly funny political satire, Vice President Selena Meyer sells out virtually every virtue or value she ever had in order to claim the Oval Office for herself. But she was never more evil than when giving up the only person who truly had her back.
Anyway, listen, it's kind of important, actually.
Oh, okay.
And I would also say that it's not easy.
Okay.
It's kind of also not fair.
Gary, her faithful bagman, bore the brunt of her cruelty through all 7 seasons, and would have continued to happily take her abuse. But when embezzlement and corruption charges knocked at Selena's door, she framed Gary and gave him up to the FBI. The confused Gary is arrested during her victory speech, and it drives home just how morally bankrupt she is.
There is no one who has sacrificed more than me.
Number 21, Sophia's Friend in Need. The Golden Girls. Dorothy, Rose, Blanche, and Sophia were never afraid to have difficult conversations. One of the show's most powerful episodes, which sees Rose Nyland having a HIV scare, was aired when the topic was still incredibly taboo.
AIDS is not a bad person's disease, Rose. It is not God punishing people for their sins. You're right, Blanche.
This episode from the same season is even more shocking. Sophia's ailing and elderly friend Martha asks her to be alongside her when Martha ends her own life. A conflicted Sophia ultimately decides to be there for her friend.
You will hold my hand? Sure I will. I'm so glad I don't have to go alone.
It was rare to see Sophia Petrillo shed a tear, but this episode has what is easily one of the show's most heart-tugging endings. Number 20, Jodys Overdose. Mum. This sitcom uses humour to discuss the tough subject of substance use disorder. In season 3, Christy and her friends from Alcoholics Anonymous meet teenager Jody.
And it's easier for older people. Your party days are kind of over. Ouch. We still have fun. Ow. This.
Way to sell it.
Over the season, Christy becomes her sponsor and helps get her back on her feet. However, Jodie begins dating someone who's only just gotten clean. In the episode Diabetic Lesbians and a Blushing Bride, Christy receives a devastating phone call that Jodys overdosed and did not survive.
She was fine at the party. How did this happen?
All I know is they found her in the bathroom at her apartment.
After the final scene, Anna Faris, Alison Janney, and a real-life doctor appeared in a public service announcement to discuss the severity of substance use disorder.
Today, 120 people will die from a drug overdose. Behind these numbers are families who need our compassion and help.
Because addiction is not a moral failing, it's a chronic illness.
Number 19, Jessie takes caffeine pills. Saved by the Bell. It found a new life as a meme on the internet, but Jessie's breakdown on Saved by the Bell is no laughing matter. Played by Elizabeth Berkley, Jessie Spano feels the mounting pressure of being Bayside High School's most studious go-getter. To help cope with stress, she takes caffeine pills, and soon the quick fix turns into a substance use disorder.
Jessie, those pills are dangerous.
Yeah, well, so's geometry.
You told me you were gonna stop taking them.
I need them to stay awake and study, okay?
No, it's not okay. Jessie, I'm worried about you. Give me the pills.
Mind your business.
Between the pressure of her academics and the added demands of the upcoming talent show, she soon unravels in the arms of her friend Zach Morris, singing and pleading for help. A departure from the Bell's lighter fare, the episode stands out as a frank portrayal of adolescent stress.
Gotta learn that it's okay if I'm not the best at everything.
Hey, I already learned that.
Number 18, Greg's car accident. Family ties. Throughout the 1980s, very special episodes became a popular way for sitcoms to discuss serious subject matters. In the 5th season of Family Ties, the show dedicated a 2-part arc to explore the topic of grief.
That's meaningless. That's meaningless. Look, I mean, what's the use of busting my tail to try and build a future for myself? I mean, maybe I don't have a future. I mean, look what happened to you.
After learning that a longtime friend of Alex's, Greg, has died in a car accident, the Keaton family comes together to mourn. However, Alex understandably has a difficult time dealing with it. He feels a mixture of anger and guilt, as he was actually supposed to be in the car with Greg.
I want answers, okay? Because I can't go on like this. Why am I alive? Why am I alive? Why am I alive?
The second half takes place in an empty space while Alex talks to an unseen therapist. It's a theatrical approach that effectively allows the story's emotions to take center stage.
I can take his sense of humor and his energy and his warmth, and I can make it my own.
Number 17, Rosario's Death. Will and Grace.
Okay, Rosie. You got some nerve not showing up for work. You better be in the hospital.
During the original run of Will and Grace, Rosario, played by Shelley Morrison, became a fan favourite. However, Morrison declined to reprise her role for the revival, as she had retired from acting. 6 episodes into the revival, the character was killed off, dying from a heart attack off-screen.
Gone? Where'd she go this time? Underground maids fight club that I don't know about?
Karen, I don't think you understand.
I understand, Grace.
Rosario's former employer and friend, Karen, honours her by fulfilling a promise to throw her a belated quinceañera. As Karen, actress Megan Mullally delivers a truly moving and poignant speech that pays tribute to a beloved figure.
She was my best friend. You were my everything. Rosario Yolanda Salazar.
Number 16, Laura faces racism. Family Matters. In the 2nd season of Family Matters, the comedy depicts a disturbing episode about racism.
Oh my God.
Laura, what's wrong?
If you want Black history, go back to Africa.
Inspired by Black History Month, Laura organises an initiative to create a Black History class at her high school. Later, she and Steve find an unsettling note and racial slur on her locker. Tensions mount among the student body, and a hurt and exhausted Laura is ready to give up.
I realize you're having a hard time, but you've got to stand up. Whatever you believe in, well, things will never change.
After a conversation with Mother Winslow, she continues her crusade, and the school backs her idea for a class. While the episode has a positive ending, the story is rooted in a reality that the black community continues to face, making it equally as relevant as when it first aired.
Grandma.
Yes, honey?
You were right. One person can make a difference.
Oh, sweetheart.
Number 15, Sandy's drunk driving. Growing pains.
Carol?
Hi.
Hi. You'll forgive me if I don't get up.
Matthew Perry joined the Growing Pains cast in 1989 as the recurring character Sandy, Carol's college boyfriend. In the episode Second Chance, he invites her to attend a luncheon, but their plans go awry when he gets into a car accident after a night of drinking. While visiting him in the hospital, Carol learns that he has pending charges for driving under the influence, but other than that, seems relatively unscathed.
You ever kissed a guy with tubes up his nose before?
Up his nose? No.
Careful, they're monitoring my heart rate.
By the time she gets home, though, things turn tragic as she learns that Sandy has died from internal bleeding. It's a shocking twist that cuts deep, reminding viewers to drive responsibly.
This isn't fair! What happened to his second chance?
Number 14, Penny's abuse. Good times. In the 1970s, audiences could always rely on Good Times for non-stop laughs. But even the most comedy-driven shows can feature moments of deep seriousness.
Penny, why did you tell us you didn't have a mommy?
Oh, I was just pretending.
In season 5 through 6, viewers welcomed the character of Penny Gordon Woods, a sweet, smiley, and kind pre-teen. She came from a difficult home situation, including a physically abusive mother who forced her to run away from home.
Why don't we have a little dinner? Then you can tell us where you belong, and then I could take you home. Would you like that?
Dinner? Uh-huh. Going home? Uh-uh.
The storyline was an eye-opening look into the realities of abuse. In the end, Willona adopts Penny, and they create the loving, supportive, and safe household that every child deserves.
I know we have so much to learn about each other, but I promise you, I love you more than any mother's ever loved a little girl.
Oh, Mama.
Number 13, Jackie's domestic violence. Roseanne. One of the things about Roseanne that made it stand out as a sitcom was that it never shied away from portraying reality.
Look, I'm all right, so don't go blowing this up into something it's not, okay?
What happened?
Nothing. Let's go eat.
No, we're not going to go anywhere till you tell me how you backed down.
I told you I'm okay.
In the episode Crime and Punishment, the title character notices a behaviour change in her sister Jackie, who suddenly appears skittish and irritated. Upon finding bruises, Roseanne learns that she is being abused by her boyfriend, Fisher.
He told me a million times when he gets in a mood like that I should just walk away, and I didn't. I just kept pushing him and pushing him.
Don't say any more.
Outraged, Jackie's brother-in-law, Dan, assaults Fisher and ends up arrested. While that doesn't resolve matters, eventually, with Roseanne's support, Jackie is able to move on from the relationship.
Let's go.
You ever come near her again, you're going to have to deal with me. And I am way more dangerous than Dan. I got a loose meat restaurant. I know what to do with the body.
Number 12, John Ritter's passing. 8 simple rules.
Mom?
My keys. Where are my keys? Mom. Oh my God.
Mom?
In 2003, the world was shocked by the news that television icon John Ritter had suddenly passed away. As his fans and peers mourned his untimely loss, producers of his sitcom 8 Simple Rules were faced with the difficult task of addressing his death. After a hiatus, the show returned with an episode titled Goodbye. It was revealed that Ritter's character, Paul Hennessy, had also died suddenly.
It's just so unfair.
Honey,
Nobody said life was fair.
God, I know that. I know that life isn't fair, but nobody told me it was gonna be this cruel.
Viewers were glued to their screens as they watched as both the characters and actors navigated the loss. As the series continued, new faces like James Garner and David Spade joined the production, helping bring comfort, warmth, and laughs to both the cast and the audience.
Everybody looks great. Just gonna push the button. Here we go.
Come on.
Everybody smile.
Number 11, Howard's Mum's Death, The Big Bang Theory. Although her face never actually appeared on screen, Debbie Wolowitz left a big impression on The Big Bang Theory.
Where are you?
I'm in the toilet!
So, how'd it go?
Too soon to say, I'm not done yet!
Featured only through her distinct voice, Howard's mum could be overprotective, overbearing, and just plain over the top. Always well intended, her mothering ways were missed when she passed away in season 8.
Ma took a nap. She never woke up.
After receiving a phone call from his aunt, Howard grieves her passing with the support and love of his friends. The character's departure occurred a few months after the actress who portrayed her, Carol Ann Susie, died in 2014. In honour of their legacies, a photograph of Susie was hung on Sheldon and Leonard's fridge.
To Mrs. Wolowitz, loving mother, to all of us. We'll miss you.
Number 10, Rebecca's Rock Bottom, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Despite its cheery exterior, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend goes to some dark places. It was often praised for depicting protagonist Rebecca Bunch's struggles in an honest way.
But you can get off the plane in LA and buy a new ticket.
True. Yeah. The thing is, I'm just too tired to buy things or do things or get things or say things or face things.
In season 3, she finds herself at an all-time low. After escaping her life in West Covina, she seeks comfort from her mother Naomi in New York. Their relationship gets extremely strained when it's revealed that the mother's been sneaking medication into her daughter's system.
Of course you didn't change. The only reason I was feeling better is because you gave me these drugs that blitzed me out and made my ears buzz.
In the wake of this betrayal, Rebecca attempts to overdose by swallowing a handful of the leftover meds. She quickly realizes the severity of her situation and gets a flight attendant's attention before it's too late. The episode marked a major turning point in the series and promoted the importance of asking for help.
I'm aware mental illness is stigmatized, but the stigma is worth it if I realized who I'm meant to be, armed with my diagnosis.
Number 9, Ben's Death, Scrubs.
Ben, you have leukemia.
That sucks.
Cox's brother-in-law Ben was treated for leukemia in the first season. When he returns in season 3, he defends JD when a patient passes away on his watch.
20 minutes after you left, he went into cardiac arrest. We tried to resuscitate him, but there was nothing we could do. I'm sorry.
This stance angers Cox throughout the episode, but Ben is able to push the cranky doctor towards a place of forgiveness. But by the time he's ready to move on, Cox realizes that the patient that passed away was Ben.
You have to forgive yourself for everything that went down the other day. You're so annoying. Yeah.
It turns out that the doctor had been hallucinating that his brother-in-law was around after his death. The episode ends at the funeral. The emotional and jarring plot twist still hurts the hearts of fans decades later. Number 8, Terry's racial profiling, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. As the Black Lives Matter movement became the subject of more and more headlines, Brooklyn Nine-Nine had some tough conversations to confront.
Look, 9 out of 10 times they get called to that neighborhood, it's about a guy that looks like you.
Were you responding to a call?
No, you're missing the point.
No, you're missing the point. I just want you to admit you only stopped me because I'm black.
The comedy, which follows the misadventures of a New York City precinct, could not ignore the topic of policing and racism. They tackled the issue head-on by including a plot point where the black officer Terry is racially profiled by a fellow cop.
Listen.
Whoa, you need to lower your voice.
Lower my voice?
No, put your hands on your head, turn around, don't make any sudden movements.
I didn't do anything. Also,
Keep talking, see what happens next, huh?
He spends the episode trying to decide whether or not to file a complaint, while also trying to manage the emotional toll of the incident. It's a heavy but vital storyline.
I wasn't a guy who lived in the neighborhood looking for his daughter's toy. I was a black man. A dangerous black man. That's all he could see. A threat.
In a time where awareness is spreading about policing, storylines like this are needed to cast light on the topic. Number 7, Matteos Deportation. Superstore. Superstore always places emphasis on the importance of fundamental issues. In one of the show's most paramount episodes, the big box retail store witnesses one of their own facing deportation.
I'm gonna miss working with you.
Shai, relax. I'm gonna get out.
Yeah, but even if you do make it out, you can't come back now that they know.
Knowing that he does not have citizenship, sales associate Matteo lives in constant fear. His worst nightmare comes true when Cloud 9 is raided by ICE.
I think we're doing it right. You're doing it.
There you are. They know about you.
What?
They saw your picture. They know what you look like. We have to go now.
Okay, well, where do we go?
I don't know.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
His colleagues do everything in their power to hide and protect him, but in the end, he's found and taken away. The whole episode is heartbreaking because of how authentic it appears, as this is the reality for countless people across America.
The guards think all undocumented people are Latinos, so they just keep yelling at me in Spanish, and I don't understand what they're saying. Just want to go home.
Number 6, Arnold and Mr. Horton. Different Strokes. In a chilling 2-part episode, Different Strokes featured one of the most disturbing storylines in sitcom history. The content was so heavy that it even included a content advisory read by show lead Conrad Bain. Titled The Bicycle Man, the arc followed the budding friendship between Arnold and Dudley and bicycle shop owner Mr. Horton.
Maybe it would be best if you didn't even mention, that you came back here and that I gave you all this ice cream before dinner. Why don't we just make it our little secret, huh?
But it's soon too clear that the latter has sinister intentions for the young people he befriends. Fortunately, adults step in to aid their children through this difficult scenario.
Look, I'm sorry, Mr. Drummond. I'm just about to close up here. I've had a little problem.
Is this Horton? Yes, it is.
I think you've got a big problem, Mr. Horton.
Now, where's Dudley? Arnold told us that he was here.
Strokes received acclaim for handling the sensitive subject matter well, and was even credited with helping children identify inappropriate adult behaviour.
But you do have to be careful. Somebody wants you to do something that's wrong, or if they want you to lie to your parents, that is a person should not be trusted, no matter how good the reason they give you seems to be.
Number 5, Marshall's dad's death. How I Met Your Mother. Season 6 of How I Met Your Mother included the death of Marshall's father. After he and Lily spend the day at the fertility specialists, they both anticipate the worst.
And so Marshall told his parents everything.
And so now I'm just scared that we won't be able to give you a grandchild.
Oh, Marshall. We don't care about that one bit.
But they could never have guessed that their bad news would come from another source. The moment Marshall receives some positive information about fertility, Lily arrives to tell him that his dad has suffered a fatal heart attack.
Something's happened. Your father, he had a heart attack. He didn't make it.
Jason Segel and Alison Hannigan improvised the moment and shot the heartbreaking scene in just one take. Not only did this shock fans, but also Segel as well. In the end, this approach led to one of the saddest moments in the entire show.
I'm not ready for this.
Number 4, Will's dad leaves. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Despite spending over a decade apart, Will's father Lou unexpectedly returned in a season 4 episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Uncle Phil immediately has his reservations about whether or not Lou will stick around.
Will is not a coat that you hang in the closet, then pick it up when you're ready to wear it. His life goes on. He's not supposed to be here for you. You're supposed to be here for him. You get off my back!
However, Will and Lou make plans to venture out on a road trip and mend their relationship. But the disappearing dad decides to abandon the plan and his son at the last moment.
I'm glad you're here. Some business came up I gotta handle. So we're gonna have to put our trip on hold. You understand.
A distraught and rightfully hurt Will launches into an incredibly emotional monologue before breaking down in front of his uncle. It's a powerful moment made even stronger by both Will Smith's and the late James Avery's incredible acting.
How come you don't want me, man?
Number 3, Maud's pregnancy. Maud. Split into a two-parter, the Norman Lear comedy Maud addressed a critical topic in its very first season. When the title character discovers she is pregnant at 47 years old, she has to decide what to do.
Oh, there's a doctor. He told me that.
It's all right. It's all right. Just tell me, Walter, that I'm doing the right thing, not having the baby.
She ultimately decides that getting an abortion is the right thing to do. Since such a topic was rarely discussed in mainstream media at the time, the subject matter received backlash.
I think it would be wrong to have a child at our age.
Oh, so do I, Walter. Oh, Walter, so do I.
Some stations even decided to forgo airing the episode altogether. Lear stood by the storyline and offered an honest depiction of a topic that is far too often kept in the dark.
For you, Maud, for me. In the privacy of our own lives, you're doing the right thing.
Number 2, plane crash. MASH. For over a decade, MASH perfectly towed the line between comedy and drama. Situated during the Korean War at a military hospital, the show did not shy away from levity.
So long, Hawk. I'm afraid just a handshake won't do it, Henry.
One of the legendary series' most challenging moments hit audiences with an unforgettable gut punch. After Colonel Blake receives his discharge, we watch a bittersweet send-off.
You behave yourself or I'm gonna come back and kick your butt.
Things take a heart-aching turn when Radar delivers horrifying news. Apparently, Blake's plane crashed and he did not survive.
Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake's plane was shot down over the Sea of Japan.
The moment stands the test of time as one of the most brutal revelations in the history of American television, along with Hawkeye's in the last episode.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, Edith's 50th birthday, all in the family.
Hiya, my name is Detective Lambert. I'm with the police department. I'd like to ask you a couple questions if I could.
Oh, sure. Come on in.
Norman Lear's most famous sitcom tackled difficult subject matter from the start, including devastating season 1 episode where Gloria Bunker suffers a miscarriage. But this two-part episode from the show's 8th season took it to the next level, as a man posing as a police officer tricks his way into the home and holds Edith hostage. Though she is able to get away before things go too far, it's a disturbing and heartbreaking hour of television. Edith Bunker felt like everyone's mum, so to watch her fall victim to a home invasion on her birthday was a harrowing exercise in suspense we rarely see on a sitcom.
Just get rid of her, you hear? Get rid of her.
Sybil, I gotta go. No, I'm all right. I'm just rushing around. I got a lot to do before the party.
Which sitcom shocker will you never forget? Let us know in the comments.
You mean when you came to school with that black guy and you said you walked into a door? Yeah, a door named Death. Maybe you should tell someone.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.